Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Panther, the Tier 7 German SPG. This one's located on the northeast corner of Highway, and it's under the command of steve6027. Okay, well, the game started without a countdown, really, or not much of one anyway. And we've got a 15cm howitzer, which is capable of 630 alpha, if I remember correctly. 600 alpha. And 39mm pin, 7.2 meters on the burst radius, between 10 and 18 seconds of stun. Okay, T-29. Oh, large number of enemy tanks making their way up. We're almost loaded. Looks like 56 TP is going to get the hit. Oh, and he got a hit. 134 directly against the side, and he got some stun. Okay. The standard reload on this Arty is 25.89. And we can see here, oh, that was a direct hit. We can see here that Steve's got a reload of 20.97, so he's not 5 seconds off the reload time. Tier 7, no, Tier 8 game with Tier 7 tanks in it. So he's bottom tier. There's a Lorraine 15550 with him on his team. And on the enemy team, Crusader SP and the GW Panther. He just got another blind hit on the enemy. Good Arty players can get blind hits quite often. That guy's tracked, but he goes down before we can get our shot in. Now he does remember where the last one was, because of course he can look on the minimap and he can see the marker showing where that tank was last seen. But instead he's actually got a couple of tanks over here that he can fire at. And the good thing about the GW Panther is it's got a turreted howitzer, which means that it's actually got a very wide arc. 26 degrees either side of the center line, which means when it's lined up, you've got a large arc that you can fire in without actually moving the vehicle at all. Now that M41 is a lot closer. Oh, but he paid for it, and he was set alight. He's on fire. He's still alive, but he's very badly wounded. Okay, waiting for the last few seconds before the shell's loaded. Rounds out. Just a bit long, that one. Of course, as you may know, the GW Panther, the Arty that was never built, but was proposed, was designed. They actually made models of it to show to Hitler, but unfortunately, the problem was that although Krupp wanted to go ahead and build the thing, the problem was that Manstein, the German Panzer General, actually wanted tanks, and so he demanded that they take all of the tanks that they were manufacturing, all the Panthers, and turn them into tanks, not into artillery. In fact, there was quite a fierce rivalry between the artillery and the tanks. Well, I think he tracked the vehicle there, which has helped the A and BT get up close to that G-Saw and kill him. Okay, managed to pull back before the 56 TP could get a shot. In fact, we're only changing our direction because we've just been spotted by the enemy. And we're really close to the enemy right now. We're way up on the enemy in terms of kills, 4 kills up. But the problem is now that we've been discovered and that Wizzy is not going to let up. And the enemy Arty will probably try to target us as well, because they know how tough and how dangerous Arty can be. Well, shotgunned him for a penetrating shot for 620, and we're going in for the ram, and he gets him. Nicely done, Steve. Got the ram, killed the enemy. The Lorraine 15550 quickly departed that other bush. In fact, I think he realizes it's probably not a good idea to be in the bush, because the enemy Arty might decide to fire at the bush. We're using the bush for cover. We're not actually in it. So he's managed to shotgun one enemy tank and get away with it and then kill the round. In fact, he did it perfectly. That's exactly what you should do. If you don't kill your enemy tank with the shotgun, go in and give him a quick nudge and that'll probably finish him off. Of course, remember that the GW Panther is a medium tank Arty, so it does have a lot of hit points to start with. Well, 360, not as much as a Panther tank has, but certainly it's still capable of doing a lot. And if you sideswipe the enemy, you can actually do quite a bit of damage. And that's what he did there. Steve nudged the enemy from one end, and sideswiping like that actually didn't cost him that much. Only 127 hit points to take him out. So yes, that might be 1/3 of his hit points, but the thing is, and he does only have 16 hit points left, but the fact is he did get the kill. It's his only kill so far though, and in fact now there's only 3 enemies left, and he's just found the Crusader SP, and he's going to try and stop this guy from firing at our teammates. Rounds out, long range, and he gets a hit, and the kill shot comes in from the Lorraine 15550 to finish him off. That guy was stationary for too long. It means there's only one Arty left on the enemy team there, GW Panther, and so we're on the move, getting closer. Of course, it does help to get closer to the enemy sometimes, because, of course, the closer you are, the quicker the decision time before you can actually get the right place to put the shot. Occasionally, somebody might say, well, then you should get closer to the enemy in every battle. Not necessarily. There are times when it's not advised to actually get too close to the enemy, because, of course, then you make yourself a victim if the enemy gets back. And he's just got a Confederate, because one of the tanks that he actually damaged has gone down to another teammate. And there's the kill shot that ends the game with a victory, and it was the Lorraine that got hit. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for steve6027 in the GW Panther. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 14. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, his win rate on that game was 4,103, which is Super Unicum standard and a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, if we look at team score, we can see the highest damage in the game goes to Steve, but it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that's why he ended up without a high caliber. He got 3,018 hit points of damage in that game. The next highest was the Vipera on his team with 2,986, followed by the AMBT with 2,311. When it came to kills, though, it was the Chopper who did the best. He got 3 kills in that game. 2 kills went to the Vipera, the AMBT, and the Lorraine 15550, and he got the last kill of the game. And also to the E25 and the GW Panther on the enemy team. And we can see that Steve only got the 1 kill, which was, in fact, the good one, the shotgun and a ram. When it came to base XP, he's got that one too. So he's got the top in hit points and in base XP. He got 1,313. The next highest being the Vipera, 1,052. Those two were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game. And the third player was the Chopper with 961. Steve fired 17 rounds, which is a decent amount of ammo expended for a good result, and he did get an ace tanker. 7 direct hits, 2 penetrating shots, one of which was the Wizzy 131, and he got 11 splash as well. 3,018 hit points of damage, of which 1,891 were at more than 300 meters. So he did more damage at long range than he did at close range. He did receive 1 hit from the Wizzy 131. It was a penetrating shot. Nothing he could do about that. The guy found him, managed to put a shot into him, but couldn't stop him from doing the reverse and also ram killing the Wizzy before he could reload. 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 kill, so it's an 8 difference to get that Confederate. He got 66 hit points of damage assist and 1,473 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. So he definitely got the communications expert skill working. On a free-to-play account, he actually made 24,863 credits profit from that game, and that's without getting any mission completion bonus. He also managed to get 7,878 experience points working on that one on a times 5 days. So again, he managed to do very nicely without getting any bonuses. So very well done there by steve6027 in the GW. It's a good map to play on, Highway, and you can get some really nice shots. As I said, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to move close to the enemy, but it certainly does help in some maps. This one, I think the problem is that it's so open. If you move close to the enemy, there's a good chance an enemy might actually find you, especially if they're in a light tank or medium. So be careful if you do move close to the enemy. But in other maps, yes, you can get closer to actually get decent shots on the enemy, and it will shorten your flight time for your shells to make it easier to hit the enemy. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give it a like, and thanks for watching.